Good morning, everybody. Roed the Red coming to you for part 2 of my previous message. Thank you for the comments. I appreciate them. The support, the love. I appreciate it. As I was saying when I left off, my phone apparently got too hot and it couldn't continue recording, so I had to go ahead and load what I had. It stopped on me and then pick back up later. As I was saying, are we seeing the beginning of the end economically? We very well could be. Not only do we have the soon coming food shortage, astronomically high inflation on food prices, what we're going to be able to find. There won't be as much. So it sounds like it could very well be that when we go to the grocery store, we may not find as much there on a regular basis, or the things that we normally would buy on a regular basis. Maybe more frequent trips needed. Finding out what day of the week a particular grocery store that we go to actually gets their truck in and come in that day or the day after to try and make sure that we get what we need. We are having a retail apocalypse, people, in this country. At least 7,000 retailers, well, not 7,000 retailers, but many retailers have closed this year alone. At least 7,000 stores. Could be up to 12,000 by the end of this year. Stores such as JCPenney, stock down to 90 cents a share. That's how bad how bad of a problem retail is having in this country. And I'm telling you, it's not because of Amazon. It's because the shit is about to hit the fan. And if we do not see the grid go down first, we are surely going to see a complete and utter economic collapse that will pale. 2008 will pale compared to this. And from what I have seen in my own research, and they've been saying this for years, people, quite a few years, that the next one we do see will make the Depression of the 1930s and look like a walk in the park. Read up on that. Watch The Grapes of Wrath. It's really all you need to do. But there are plenty of really excellent documentaries out there on YouTube and other places that will show you just how bad it actually got. I would even suggest seeing the movie Centennial, if you can manage to find it. That went into a very good and accurate depiction of what the Depression was like. And we've got millions of people, Americans, homeless. And we're not just talking drug addicts and alcoholics. We're talking couples with children, homeless, living on the streets, sleeping in cardboard boxes. And so many people in this country are more concerned about these illegals coming across the border than they are about the people in their own damn country. That is just sickening. I don't know what you think about it, but I think it's just despicable. There are a lot of people, more than you might realize, that just fell on hard times. They weren't drug addicts, they weren't alcoholics. They were living paycheck to paycheck like a lot of people right now. Probably had something along the lines of a car repair that was very expensive that they had to make in order to get back to work. Fell behind on their rent, their house payment, lost everything. That's all it takes, folks. I'm telling you, at this point, that's all it takes, is to have an emergency that you did not put money away for, or for whatever the reason you couldn't put money away for. You get behind on your rent or your mortgage payment, and you're on the streets. It can happen to anybody, drug addict, alcoholic, or not. It can happen to anybody. Now, before I leave, I want to reiterate, I must reiterate for everyone who's willing to listen. As odd as it may sound, I still say that semi-precious stones are going to have a great deal more value when all this comes crumbling down than they do now. Especially if you can manage to either buy or acquire, and I'm not talking about stealing, gem quality semi-precious stones. Amethyst, rose quartz, or even quartz for that matter. Garnet. I'm going to tell you how you can get these. If you have the time to take a vacation. Of course, it's going to be more work than it will be relaxation, but you can still relax too. And the money to do this. My suggestion, first of all, I'm going to give you a few places that you can go to mine for your own gems. And there are quite a few. Go online, you find a whole lot more than what I'm listing here. Wherever you may live the closest to, that's the place that I would suggest you go. Just a few examples. Crater of Diamonds State Park, Brushy Mountains, North Carolina, Jade Cove Trail. I don't remember, I didn't put down what state that's in, sorry. Big Sur, California is where that one is. Moorfield Mines in Amelia County, Virginia, Grave Mountain, Lincolnton, Georgia, and there, like I said, there are many other places that are rich in semi-precious stones that you can find of gem quality. Now, semi-precious stones of gem quality are just about as valuable, almost as valuable, as precious stones. Now, they're always gem quality, but you can then find semi-precious stones in many locations throughout the country. You just got to go and look for them. You know, may have to bring a pickaxe and other tools, what have you, to do some digging and picking and find these, but you can do it. I've seen people do it on documentaries I've seen on the Travel Channel, and they walk away with thousands of dollars from the stones that they sell to people in the area that trade in these things. Also, copper, it's not that valuable right now. It is only worth right now maybe about 11 cents for a 1 ounce coin. But in the event that the grid goes down or the economy comes crashing down, which it's going to, like I said, if we don't see the grid go down first, we will see an economic collapse, unlike anything this country has ever seen, unlike anything the world has ever seen, because it will go global. Definitely. If you go to, what is the, silver.com is the website that I've been using. I'm getting not only silver eagles, but also copper eagles. The copper eagles are much more affordable. I still suggest you get the silver eagles as well. They're not that much. Maybe they're ranging, well, it depends on which ones you get, what year they were made, how rare they are, what have you. But they range anywhere from $16, which is affordable for just about anybody, on up to a few hundred. But it's not going. You're not going to have to get the ones that were made X year or what have you. As long as you got pure grade silver and copper, you're going to be good. Granted, gold is better because it is more valuable. But at least with these gem quality, or even if they're not gem quality, the semi-precious stones that are average grade, they're still pretty, they're still attractive, they're still nice to look at, wear on your body, what have you. People are still going to want those. So even if you can't get the gem quality stones by going out into wherever is nearest you and doing some mining for your own, then, go to Amazon. You still get really pretty and even some masculine looking semi-precious stones to use as bartering and trading And I still strongly suggest the copper and silver coins. Most of us are too impoverished at this point to be able to buy gold. So don't worry so much about the gold. If you've got teeth that are plated with gold, you might want to have that taken off your teeth. Because I'm going to tell you, if you've got gold on your teeth in a situation like this, people are going to literally yank out your teeth with no anesthetic for that gold. Don't think they won't, because they will. You don't want to have this stuff on your teeth in a economic collapse, a grid down situation, anything like that. You'll be lucky if all they do is take your teeth. You'll be very fortunate and blessed if they don't kill you and slaughter you to feed their family. I'm just telling you, there are going to be people out there doing that kind of thing. They will, because they're not concerned about anything or anybody but them and theirs. It's going to happen. Prepare for it. Have weapons. Have ammo. Everything that you need on a daily basis right now, you're going to need then. And even things that I haven't thought about, like sewing kits. You're going to need to be able to mend your clothes if you get a rip or a tear or what have you. Insect repellent for this time of year, definitely going to be a serious need. A lot of things, just think, whatever you need on a daily basis now, you're going to need to have a lot more of it stored up at that point. Definitely need water, the basics. Non-perishable food, again, I would suggest dry goods, things that you don't really even have to cook. Dehydrated fruit, nuts, trail mixes, it's food, okay? It's food. It's nourishing, it'll keep you alive and healthy. I would even go so far as to suggest buying vitamins, stocking up on things like that. I don't remember exactly which herbs and spices it is, but you can go online and do a search on that. But there are both herbs and spices that have antibiotic properties to them. Stock up on those too, definitely. If you can't manage to, for whatever the reason, buy what do you call those things? Fish antibiotics for fish tank. Those are affordable depending on who you are and what your income is and what you can afford. But if you can't, then yeah, definitely do the research. What herbs and spices have antibiotic properties that you can stock up on, so that you at least have something to use if somebody comes down with a bacterial infection. Water, food, body and oral hygiene supplies. I mentioned weapons, ammo. A good staff for everyone in your family would be a good idea, just in case you come into situations, which you will, where a gun isn't necessarily needed, but a staff would be very effective. Learn how to use one. Crossbows are a great thing to have. I've got a couple of them myself. Buy extra bolts on a monthly basis. A gun is a great thing to have. Multiple guns is a great thing to have. Make sure you got, like I said, make sure you've got ammo. If you have a crossbow or more than one, make sure you buy extra bolts. Other than that, be in the Word, be in prayer, be in listening for the guidance of Holy Father, Holy Mother, Savior Child. Just put your trust and your faith in them. You can't go wrong. You just can't. You cannot go wrong. Other than that, I have said it before, just do what you're able to do. Trust them for the rest. They will take care of you. I said, I'm going to say it again. I'm not so sure how much you might have some very serious but valuable and difficult lessons to learn if you don't do at least what prepping that you can do. I'm just saying, God helps those who help themselves. Sometimes we can't help ourselves, and in that situation, He takes over if we ask Him to. He's not going to force His help on any of us. I'm just saying, do what you're able to do. Let the Holy Three take care of the rest. Until next time, I love you guys. I always hope and pray that I have said or am saying something that is being beneficial to everyone who listens. Please, everyone that is able to or willing, please share. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And also, just because you hear something that you don't agree with doesn't mean that you can't continue to listen. If you agree with 90% or more of what I have to say, then, stick around. What's the point of leaving? You know what I'm saying? I listen to preachers that I don't agree with about everything, because the majority of what they have to say to me is a benefit to my walk with God. So why should I stop listening to them just because 5 or maybe 10%, sometimes even only 1 to 3%, I disagree? Who cares? Who cares? If the majority of what they're telling me is beneficial to me and helps me get closer to God, I'm going to keep listening to them, because it's idiotic to not. It just is. And it's spiritually detrimental. I'm not saying that not listening to me would be detrimental in any way, but it could be. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Till next time, I love you guys. I hope everything's going as good as it can be, and I hope that everything continues to go as good as it can under whatever circumstances you find yourself in. Till next time, Bro Ed the Red, signing out, y'all.